In the quaint little town of Corkston, nestled snugly between rolling hills and misty meadows, lived a cat unlike any other. His name was Whiskers, not due to any particular show of creativity from his owner, Mrs. Hubbard, but rather due to his exceptionally long, twitching whiskers that seemed to have a mind of their own. Whiskers was not your average feline. Although he had the sleek, gray coat typical of a contented house cat, his personality was anything but ordinary. Whiskers had one peculiar quirk, an insatiable curiosity peppered with an uncanny ability for getting into mischief. Whether he was sneaking into Mr. Turner's garden to unearth the most recent carrot planting or stealthily swiping Mrs. Hardwick's freshly laundered socks as they hung in her backyard, Whiskers had a knack for stirring up quite the commotion. However, what truly made Whiskers the talk of the town was his laughable antics at Mrs. Hubbard's tea parties. Every Saturday, a host of delightful townsfolk, each as intriguing as the last, would gather in Mrs. Hubbard's blooming garden for a congenial afternoon of tea and chatter. Unfailingly, Whiskers would emerge as the unexpected center of attention. One such afternoon, the sun cast a golden hue over the garden as the guests sipped their tea, nibbling on cucumber sandwiches. Whiskers, eyeing the elaborate spread of cakes and pies, had hatched a plan only a mastermind of mischief could conceive. With a subtle flick of his ears and an indignant yowl, he launched himself onto the table, scattering sugar cubes into the air like a confectionery explosion. As the guests erupted in a chorus of laughter and surprise, Whiskers darted away, his gray tail a blur amidst the chaos he had created. But, of course, this was all in a day's work for Whiskers who, proudly unrepentant, basked in the merriment he bestowed upon his beloved town. His antics were spoken of with fond amusement, ensuring that his reputation as Corkston's most charmingly troublemaking cat was well preserved. Through all his adventures, one thing remained constant. Whiskers' comedic escapades brought delight and laughter to all who knew him.